Hi, I'm Katie. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to have a little sencha versus sencha and find out how steaming of the leaves affects taste. So I have two teas from Ohio Tea Co. And this one is a sencha Chumushi, or however you actually pronounce this. And this one is a Sencha Fukamushi. And we're gonna test these against each other and see what the steaming process of sencha does to affect the flavor of them. So how we're doing this is I am brewing these both how I would normally brew sencha. They do have different instructions on them, like very different brewing instructions on them, but that's for Western brewing. So I am brewing them Gong Fu, and I am doing that how I typically would do that for my senchas, and I'm doing it all the same for both of them so that we just kind of have a level playing field for how they directly are affected. So the Chumushi is a medium steamed sencha, and the Fukamushi is a heavy, it's like deeper, longer, heavy steamed sencha. So the Chumushi, the notes on it are that it is a medium steamed Japanese sencha with a vegetable body and a sweet finish. And for the Fukamushi, it is their signature sencha, and the Fukamushi part of the name refers to a deeper, longer steaming process, which results in finer leaves and a richer, fuller bodied taste. And it also adds sweetness and an outstanding fragrance. So first we're going to look at the leaves. So over here is the Chumushi, and it is definitely what you would think of a typical sencha for the leaf look. And this one is the Fukamushi, and it is noticeably finer leaves and a darker color, slightly darker. So, sorry. So we're going to compare these out, and the Chumushi is going to be on this side and the Fukamushi is going to be on this side, and hopefully we can keep it all straight. So I've measured out 2 grams of each. Figure out how to organize all this. Okay, so I have 2 grams of each, and I'm going to try to stay in the frame and show you everything all at the same time here. So, you can kind of see me. Alright, so Chumushi is going in the blue guy one, and Fukamushi is going, wait, hold on. Getting ahead of myself. Go back. We're gonna heat all of the brewing vessels. That's what we're doing first. Heat everything up. Give everything the best possible outcome here. Try not to break anything. That's gonna be my biggest thing. I'm gonna try not to break anything. So I am setting the water to 150, and we're going to brew these for 1 minute because that's how I typically do sencha. So I'm also kind of comparing this to what my go-to sencha is, which is Adagio's Sencha Premier. That is my go-to sencha. Sencha is really my go-to first tea of the day most days. I just like, it's just a nice clean way to start the day. So, everything hot. Okay, so now Chumushi is going in the blue guy one, and the Fukamushi is going in the white one. Get all the leaves in there. Heat those up. Alright, so hopefully I can get the timing right on all of this and not make a mess, and everything will be fine. We'll see what happens. If you've watched some of my other videos, you know I'm a bit of a klutz and tend to drop things. So yeah, timing in tandem could be fun. So let's smell the Chumushi. That has an amazing smell. Like it's light, it's very sweet. It's almost fruity. That's really good. I'm also just looking for a new sencha of the day. Okay, wow. This one is much more nutty and savory. Definitely nutty. Still somewhat vegetable-y, but yeah, that's interesting. They are very different smells happening. So, all right, I'm going to try to time these and pour them out appropriately. So here we go. That actually worked out really well to actually hit the 7-minute mark on my video, so I can use my video timer for a timer. So yay. Okay, yeah. I need a larger tea tray for this. I really do, because this is where it's going to get interesting, is pouring them out. So there's about 10 seconds difference, so hopefully that will be enough time here. Maybe. I typically brew my senchas twice at least, so depending on how this first brew tastes, we might go a second time. I lost most of these leaves into the strainer. All right. And the sencha in Gaiwans, especially these finer senchas, is making a mess. All right. Yes. Okay. So color-wise, we have very different colors. So over here is the Chumushi, and it is very light, which typically when I am brewing sencha this way, the first steep is super, super light. And then here's the Fukamushi, and it's got this greenish yellow cast to it, and it's definitely got some like suspended particles. So, and yes, I have a blanket on my lap because it's cold. All right, so let's give these a taste. Start with the lighter steamed, which is the medium steam. There is an even lighter step for Japanese tea processing practice, and I think it's Asamushi or something. It starts with an A. You see, my last minute research did so well. But Ohio Tico also has some other senchas as well. They have an organic sencha, and they have several different flavored senchas, and they have a decaf sencha. And I know a lot of companies do not have decaf green tea, so if you are looking for decaf green tea, here's one you could check out. Personally, I do not like decaffeinated tea, at least the ones I've tried. I think it does do something to the taste and mouthfeel of the tea, so yeah. Okay. Anyway, back on track. Okay, Chumushi. That is very light. It is very smooth. Yeah, there's no bite to that. It does kind of have like it's almost got the mouthfeel of astringency, but it's not tasting astringent. And it could just be that it does need longer, or it just needs that second steep to open up. It's nice. It's so light, and there's not much flavor to it. It's almost like a butteryness. Okay. I probably should have brought some water or something so I could cleanse out between, but okay. So here is the Fukamushi. It's definitely much richer. And I can taste the the nuttiness of this is really intriguing. It's got a little bit of vegetableness. Like, this had some vegetableness too, but it was just, this is so light. It's like I'm definitely going to need to do the second steep on this to assess again. Yeah. This has a little bit thicker of a mouthfeel, but it's not that different for as much the finer leaf quality and everything. And a lot of the times I've found with senchas, if the leaves are really broken, that it can have such a really intense astringency to it, and I don't like it. But maybe those have just been senchas that are just broken and not heavily steamed. So yeah, this is nice. I like them both. I like them both a lot. This one is very light, so this one actually would be pretty nice for like first morning cup sort of thing. But yeah, this one's got more body to it. This is still pretty light, and this way of brewing is just gonna bring a lightness to everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a second steep on these, and I will come back to you when that is done for the second taste. So I'll be right back. And we're back with steep 2. So this time I did 2 minutes, because that's just how I typically do it. I do the first steep for 1 minute and then second steep for 2. The colors are definitely different here. So, is it like a glare? Sorry. The Chumushi has this lovely like buttercup yellow. Maybe not even quite that yellow, but it's like a light, pretty yellow. I think the camera's showing it lighter than it is, so it's slightly darker than what the camera's showing. And then the Fukamushi is definitely still got that a very green tint to its yellowness. So, and I think most of that green is coming from, there's like suspended particles in there, which is what happens when you have smaller leaves. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and taste these again. As I said, this is steep 2 for 2 minutes. Still the same temperature and everything. Yeah, this has a lot more flavor. It definitely brought out some stronger vegetable hints in here. It's got a bit of a bite to it. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's like, it's sencha, so that's kind of what sencha does. It's a sweetness, but it's a bite, but it's, you know, me and describing things. It's interesting. I like the first steep better, a lot better. I did get some water so I can like kind of try to cleanse out palate in between to taste test. I do think for Gung Fu Brewing at least that the Chumushi is probably going to be better option because the leaves are bigger so it doesn't make a complete mess. So it's like, here's the strainer for it, not hardly anything, and then here's the strainer for this one, and the lid is like leaves went everywhere for this one. All right, Fukamushi. I don't know if it quite has the nuttiness still. It's definitely got more of a bit of an astringency. But it's actually like astringency wise, like bite wise, this is sharper. This has more, but this is sharper, if that makes sense. And I think a lot of this is because there's so much suspended, and it is precipitating out. So maybe if this would get a finer strainer, not that I have a finer strainer. And a lot of like Japanese tea is kind of supposed to be suspended. So yeah, I don't know. I liked the first steep on this. I don't know. Decisions. Not that I have to decide which one is like gonna be my next like, ooh, I love it sencha. Like they both have very interesting qualities to them. Like this one, I like the first steep was so nice and light and lovely. I think probably somewhere between 1 and 2 minutes might be good for this one, just to give it a little more body. But 2 might just be a little too much, and it brings out a little too much sharpness. This one, steep 1, was fabulous. Like that nuttiness to it was so amazing, like not like I've had in sencha before. And again, maybe 2 minutes was a little too long. But I wanted to do it how I typically do sencha. And a lot of the times 1 minute is this just like wake up, light, ease you into the day. And then steep 2 is a little bit sharper. So brewing instruction wise, the Chumushi says a teaspoon for 2 minutes at 160. If that is going, and that's going to be per 8 ounces, not per like 150 milliliters, which is about 4 ounces. So that's going to affect because it's going to be double the water, but this is also a higher temperature and for this second time. So maybe that'll all balance out and get that to where this would be for 1.5 minutes this way. And that would probably be the good ideal. And I'm going to need to try these Western style too, just to see where I lie for the train, but I'm not going to do that right now. So the Fukamushi actually says to use a tablespoon, which is 3 teaspoons, at 175, and do that for 30 to 60 seconds. So this has a very different brewing instructions. So it wants you to go fast, but it wants you to have a lot. And I think that may lend to being closer to the first steep, especially if you do the 30 seconds. I don't know if I would use a full tablespoon. I'm going to try it and see. Like, I do always like to try what the company kind of suggests, and then decide from there how I want to do it. It's kind of toning down a bit as it cools. Not that it was that. It's got like a coat your mouth sort of thing to it. Yeah, it's still about the same. So yeah, I do like both of these. I do like them. It's more of the comparing and trying to decide which one I like better is difficult. I think definitely for steep 1, I like the Fukamushi better. Like, just because I like that nuttier flavor. Actually, I think on both of them, I like steep 1 better. So I'm thinking steep 2, I should have done less time. So I think that's what the biggest thing is. So steep 2 I'm not a huge fan of, but steep 1, like the Fukamushi, is outstanding. So I will be trying these how their instructions say and go from there for what I decide. So if you would like to try out your own Sencha versus Sencha, you can check out Ohio Tico. As I said, they have these 2 Senchas as well as some other ones. So you could try the organic and you could try the decaf and see what you think of those. I know there are some other companies that carry various levels of Sencha too, and Oden's Tea has a lot of different Senchas that you could compare out. So if you want to try your own thing and let me know what you found comparing Senchas or what your favorite Sencha is and where it's from, do let me know in the comments down below. And if you liked this sort of tea versus tea setup, make sure you like this video and stay subscribed to me to see all my other new ideas. So see you guys later. Bye.